This map is the map of Russia. That's just as it's marked. Of course, it includes more countries than just Russia, but I guess it's just the countries that are in the vicinity of Russia. So once again, we're going to split it off into sections. That'll make it easier to remember and faster. So we have this section over here, then we have the Stan countries down here, and then of course Russia itself. So first we find Russia. Which one is it? Good job, it's this big green one right here. So Russia, right here. Now we're going to move over to the west and zoom in on this section right here. And I'll just turn the map so you guys can see it. Once again, we already remembered or memorized these. If you can kind of look at your other map of Europe, and if you were able to remember the acronym BUMMER, where it was Belarus, Ukraine, Moldova, and Romania, if you can line it up with this map and see which countries are which, you'll see, oh, well, this is the B and the U of that acronym of BUMMER, so Belarus and Ukraine. Then also you'll find that these three are there's the ELL of Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. And that the Baltic Sea, very cold, sounds kind of harsh, Baltic Sea in the north right here. You'll be able to find those. So that's just for the countries themselves. So we have those particular countries. Now let's move down here. My bad, there's actually another section. We'll remember this section. For this section right here, I just say GAA. So it's the yellow one, orange one, and then the red one. GAA. And it's Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. And Armenia and Azerbaijan, from left to right, are in alphabetical order. So it's Armenia, then Azerbaijan. So GAA, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan. And once again, if you line up your map and see the Middle Eastern map, you'll see, yes, this is the Caspian Sea and Iran right here. That'll just help you find the Caspian Sea. And then down here, we've got the Stan countries. And let me just get this map up a little. To find these, I kind of split them in, I just talk about the first letter of their names to help me, because there's two that start with a T, two that start with a K, and then one that starts with a U. So the one that starts with the vowel, it's the one that's in the middle of all of them. So it's this yellow one right here that kind of has this little hand right here. So this one's Uzbekistan, starts with the U. Uzbekistan starts with the vowel. Then I split off to, from bottom to top, or my bad, from top to bottom, it's alphabetical, as in which one, is it K first or T first? So it's K, then T. So the T countries are these two green ones, T countries. Then the orange and red ones, like the warm colored ones, are K, start with K. Also, they're in alphabetical order from left to right, so Kazakhstan, then Kyrgyzstan, so K and then K, and then T and then T. So just do that again, over and T and then T. So Turkmenistan and Tajikistan. And these are, to remember these, the T and the T, I think Turkmenistan is the one closest to Turkey. So Europe is way, I'm using the pointer to kind of wave over there, is way over there. Europe and Turkey and the Middle East are way over there. So Turkmenistan is closest to Turkey. So if you look at that map, you'll see that Turkmenistan is closest to Turkey. So that means the other T one, the other green one, is Tajikistan. It's the only one left. So that's how we get this whole section right here. That's all the countries, actually. And that was pretty simple. Now we should go on to the cities. And we have Russia. So once again, go over here, and you'll see where these three rivers, there's rivers, once again, they're all kind of almost converging on each other, right here to the single point. Converging on this point is Moscow, right there. And look where this river points down, and this river is just the tip of it points up. So between the tip of this river and the bottom of this river, in a straight line, almost right between them, is Moscow. St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg, Russia. Think of Peter the Great. He wanted to make Russia more European and established a city closer to Europe. So over here, you see the Baltic Sea kind of jets down into this waterway, and it makes this point, like it's pointing to St. Petersburg, like he's pointing to, I want to be Western and all that. So think of Peter the Great, so pointing to there. So St. Petersburg, point. Now we have two other cities. We have Kiev and Ukraine. They both have a K in it. Kiev and Ukraine. Well, Minsk has a K in it too. So I remember these because it's toward the beginning. So K is the first letter and K is the second letter here. So K toward the beginning. Kiev and Ukraine. Or you can think of UK or something. And you see where the river bends at the top? That's where you put Kiev. So look where the river bends is where you put Kiev. Minsk is in Belarus, and you look for the bubble. So Minsk, there's not very many cities, so if you can remember that Moscow and St. Petersburg are in Russia, and Kiev is in Ukraine, that kind of just leaves a very few cities left. So you got Minsk in Belarus. Maybe you want to say MB, like Men in Black or something. MB, Minsk, Belarus. And you see there's this little bubble of land right there that's yellow as part of Lithuania. So it makes this little bitty bubble right there. Just south of the little bitty bubble is Minsk. So just go a little bit south of that bubble, you put Minsk, you got it. Now you need to know Tashkent. So think of all those tea countries, and maybe I can kind of zoom out so we can look at those. So think of all the tea countries. Tashkent is a city between the tea countries. So Tashkent is in Uzbekistan, and it has to, think about it, it has to be in this country because it's the country between the tea countries, and you want the tea city to be between the tea countries. To find it, you find this little hand. It's like unique, like you could find it on any map. You'd find this really strange shape piece of land that's kind of jutting off here and kind of separated by this little river. So right where the river cuts off the hand, right beside it is, to the right is Tashkent. So the river cuts off this little hand. To the east, right to the east of the river is Tashkent. Now, the last city is Vladivostok. Think about Russia, I think like Vlad, or it sounds kind of maybe like Slavic. It just makes me think of Russia, just the way it sounds, kind of a combination of letters. I think V is toward the end of the alphabet. So think about V is toward the end of alphabet. So V, or Vladivostok, is toward the edge of the map. It's like at the edge of the world. So you go all the way over here near Japan. So you can see this is North Korea and South Korea. This is part of China, and this is Mongolia. And then Japan, and the Sea of Japan, of course, right here.